Hello traders, after doing my daily analysis, I found a high probability of rejection around 36.20 today and a bridge to lower lows. Here's how I interacted with today's price action. Alright, so the first trade I took today, I entered right at the retest of the 15-minute order block converging with the 4-hour fair value gap. I was anticipating some drawdown. This trade was more to curb my impatience and to get a better feel of how price is reacting to that 36.20 level, and I am going to grow out of this practice over time since it kind of gives me unnecessary drawdown. It seemed to have helped me not feel impatient with waiting for a trade. Before I get into trade 2, which is a pyramid from trade 1, I want to talk about a quick side note for CFDs. With volume imbalances on this asset, they won't always translate to the actual ES contract. So when this occurs, don't trade with the volume imbalance. I mentioned this because the volume imbalance at trade 1 that I entered on was not on the S&P futures contract. I didn't realize this at the time, but I took the trade with multiple other confluences, so it didn't really matter. For trade 2, after market structure shift occurred, I entered with the converging bearish breaker and fair value gap with a stop at the strong displacement candle of the second fair value gap above. I put my stop here because a small wick could have tapped into that fair value gap and spread could have got me taken out. So although unlikely, I submitted to the small likelihood of that occurring and just placed my stop at that displacement candle. I took a quick partial and entered another position at the bullish order block converging with the bearish fair value gap. Price breaks lower and retest a volume imbalance, which I missed because of my sloppy partial executions and level setting. This kind of showed me that I need to set these levels prior because otherwise this takes up an unnecessary amount of my focus. Trade 4, after taking another partial at the volume imbalance, I entered on the 930 volatility to retest the mitigation block found on YM. After the fact, I realized that this is a balanced price range for ES. I used YM to enter on ES, and it was slightly forced. I didn't really think that 930 would allow me an entry into that balanced price range, so I elected to trade the model with using NASDAQ or YM as an entry confluence for ES. I need to do some more backtesting of this model before forward testing, since this trade resulted in more drawdown than necessary. I don't really understand this model that well to be trading it live. So after the partial was taken at the overnight lows, this was the furthest expansion I could capitalize on. I moved my stop to the intermittent term high and got stopped out as price rallied aggressively during lunch. So in total today, my max risk was about 0.25% and about $18, and I made 2% roughly, or $95.30 on my $5,000 something demo account. And with this, I've worked my way up to using 0.5% starting next week. Something I mentioned in writing on Discord, but I wanted to mention it in the video as well, is I've been on an intense losing streak the past couple of months. Impatience and perfection have been ruining my precision in trading. The demo account that I'm currently working with, I started with trying to do the ICT 30% drawdown in 30 days challenge, and I wasn't ready for it. I tried to mimic how ICT trades, parlaying accounts up like he does, and I couldn't do it. So my account before today was $5,790 from $10,000, a 42% loss from the original starting amount. With trying to do this 30% drawdown challenge, I dug myself into a bigger hole of 12%. When I didn't get the same results as I was expecting from trading like ICT does, it devastated me. I was very depressed. I felt like everyone was right about me wasting my time with this. But instead of resetting the account like I usually do when I start losing, I decided to do some journaling and do a brain dump of all the emotions that I've been feeling and to figure out what the root cause of all of this was. And I've learned a lot from that. I can elaborate on future videos. I don't want to make this video too long, but I've owned up to this losing streak. I've realized that I've messed up, but I'm not a mess up. Alright, sounds corny, but I thought it was a pretty cool line, alright? I've released the emotional attachment to my trading. What I want to do now is I'm going to keep this account. I'm not going to reset it until it either hits $0 or $10,000, and I'm going to bring you guys with me. I don't know about you, but this motivates the hell out of me to see if I can do it, I've gotten pretty close to my breaking point, this stuff. I'm studying it for about 2 years now, and feeling like you have nothing to show for it. It's difficult, to say the least. I want to be completely transparent with my journey. it's very easy for me to pretend like I got all my shit figured out. It could bring a lot of views as well. And that's not my intention. I want to help you. I've found that this can actually add value. Seeing me struggle can help you. No. Seeing how I handle my own personal psychological obstacles, I'm hoping it can help you tackle yours as well. If you want a written version of this trade breakdown, it's going to be on my website, mrbreaktrades.com. Just go under trade breakdowns and it'll be right there. I'm also on Twitter, I guess. Zeus convinced me to get on Twitter, even though I'm not a huge fan. And then finally, join the Discord community. Been growing very fast, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it. So if you haven't joined already, I suggest you join. And with that, thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.